So 365 today. We're talking about some standouts in yesterday's college hockey matchup between Michigan and Providence, and wasn't any NHL hockey on, so that was the thing I was able to go towards. Very physical game, very intense game. Those two teams, top two or top 10 ranked teams in the nation. So obviously, two teams are very dynamic. They can add a lot of offense. And Providence has a lot of leaders coming over, and the guys they're able to recruit from the THL, and obviously Roger McQueen being one of them, a very big asset to their team, and quite literally he's 6'6", but just the way he plays, the way he competes, the way he battles, he's very exciting to watch as a centerman. There's a lot of intriguing elements to watch within his game that make him stand out, and he's going to be a player we're going to see for a very long time make an impact. And yeah, he was really noticeable in yesterday's game and looks healthy. Looks like he's gonna essentially dominate this year. But when you look at the makeup of the game, it's just very intriguing how he's able to play the foundational elements of his game. He still has time to fill out his frame too. He's 6'6", but he's under 200 pounds right now. So you can really leverage that and be able to have a really big weapon there long term if you're able to fill out his frame a little bit more. And then you look at some of the other guys that Providence has. They have some good, intense physical players on their team, and that makes them very hard to play against. And they're a team that they battle. They might not necessarily be a high octane shooting group necessarily all the time, but there's some good elements to this team that they have. Obviously, they have a bunch of guys up front who can score, and Johnny Mustard being one of the guys who was able to get on the board yesterday and score. And they had some other guys. Obviously, I touched on McQueen, but they had Hudson Malinowski, who is an 04 drafted by the Leafs. They have Logan Sawyer, who's drafted by the Habs. Julius Sump, who's drafted by the Blackhawks, and some other guys on the team who are they make for a very competitive group and a group that's just really intriguing to watch. So I think you're going to get a lot of elements there that can add up over time, and this could be a very dangerous offensive team if they're able to galvanize as a group and be able to come together as a group. And then when you look at Michigan and their roster, it's loaded pretty much, right? So they have a lot of weapons up front offensively and a lot of guys who can make an impact there. A lot of good puck moving defensemen on the back end too, which is really intriguing. And yeah, just a ton of NHL picks. I mean, Michael Hayes looks like a difference maker and a game breaker. Same with Will Horkoff. He's been unbelievable to start. And those two guys have just been on it right from the get-go. Cole McKinney's looked like a really good offensive weapon. He's drafted by San Jose in this most recent NHL draft. You got Nick Moldenhauer drafted by the Leafs. You have Aiden Park drafted by the Oilers in the seventh round. Jaden Perron was a transfer coming out of North Dakota. So you have him there. Malcolm Spence was a recruit coming out of Erie in the OHL. They get him, and now he's able to make an impact. So you have physical elements. And then on the back end, they have Asher Barnett, who's a really underrated puck moving defenseman, can play a complete game too. And Henry Muse, who is already PP1 quarterback for them. He just moves the puck and zips the puck around really well with the flank guys. I think that's one of the most intriguing elements when you're talking about his game is how well he moves the puck to the flanks. He keeps it flat, but he's able to move it crisply, so the flank guys have an opportunity to shoot right away on their Sean side. He does a really good job of that. And another guy that does a really good job of that is Dakota Ram Milan. And certainly looks like a guy who is bound to make a little bit more impact within his skating and his puck skill this year, more so than last year. And right off the bat, he's already at 4 points on the season in 3 games. And I'm really starting to wonder, he was a late birthday, a late '06. And I'm starting to wonder if he might get drafted this year because there's a lot to like within his foundational elements in his game. If he's able to keep up this offensive pace, I believe he might have a chance to get picked in the later rounds or mid rounds somewhere because he's legit and he's good. So there's a lot of elements to like there. And then obviously you still have Adam Valentini up front, who's really underrated as an offensive guy, but also very well rounded as a competitive player too. So he's got 3 assists in 3 games right now. He's looked really good, and honestly, it's been a much better fit for him probably at the NCAA level than going to the OHL with Kitchener. So even if he went to Kitchener in the OHL, he probably would still torn it up. But honestly, with the way he's playing right now, it looks like he didn't need the OHL. It looks like he just needs to grow in the NCAA right now. And he's gonna take advantage of that. He looks like a really good player. Looks like a really intriguing prospect who's gonna make an impact offensively. So you get a lot of guys who have that impact and that scoring pedigree offensively, and this makes Michigan a really dynamic team, a really exciting team to watch, and it makes their power play weaponized too. They have a lot of weapons that they can use on the flanks, in the middle offensively, like so many guys that they can weaponize and take advantage of, and they just dominated yesterday right from the get-go in terms of neutral zone play, transition, and being able to hold on to pucks and extend possession and being able to drive that on a per 20-minute basis, and doing that for sustained effort of the whole game is hard to do, but they were able to do that, take advantage.